What's up guys, it's Bebe. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today we are going to be rounding out my EDC Vegas content with a good old recap and review video. I do these for every festival I go to. I kind of just sit down, tell you how the weekend went, pros, cons. I go through categories, almost kind of rank the festival experience just without actual ranking numbers or anything like that. I share some cool memories with you guys, and it's just my way to kind of sit down and give you the whole rundown on how my experience went. This year was obviously a little bit different, as you guys saw in the vlogs. I'm so glad I finally am sitting down now to give you the entire story time of what the fuck happened during our camping experience. So I'm actually not going to be doing a separate recap and review for camp like I've done in the past. I'm going to be putting it all in one video just because our camp EDC experience was so tainted by our RV situation, which I'll get into if you haven't seen the vlogs. We didn't really do any parties. Honestly, we did not as many activities as one should. Basically missed out on a lot of the experience that INSOMNIAC provides because our RV was literally a nightmare. We're gonna talk about that today, and I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what happened and also honestly warn you guys against this particular RV that we rented because it is still up and listed as rentable, and it honestly should not be because it is so unsafe. So here we go. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. I make all kinds of festival content around dance music and artist recommendations and all that good stuff. My next festival is Electric Forest, which is coming up so quick. It's in like 2 weeks. I don't know how the fuck that happened. So we are moving into prep for that. Yeah, EDC and Forest are a lot to do back to back, but they are probably my two favorite festivals ever, so I simply have to do both. Let's just jump into the RV story. I know so many of you wanted the whole thing, so let me tell you, I'm gonna try and sum it up as quick as I can so I can get into the actual festival review. But I know you guys wanted this, a ton of people were asking, so go get some popcorn, go get a cup of tea, like put the goddamn kettle on because this shit is boiling. I'm still so mad. It's still a very ongoing process, I will say, so I'm updating you now in what is real time, but every day, honestly, it's something new and we're going back and forth with the company. So before I even talk about it, again, I want to warn you guys against this RV. I will put a screenshot of it here. We rented it through Outdoorsy, which first and foremost, I will never be fucking using Outdoorsy again. And it's so funny, at the time that I'm filming this video, we actually found out on Saturday that our RV that we rented for Electric Forest, which was also through Outdoorsy, fucking canceled on us without messaging us. Like, the owners just took the listing off of the website, decided that they didn't want to rent it anymore, and because of that, our reservation like automatically is no longer valid. But the company never told us. The owner never reached out to tell us we couldn't use the RV anymore. Like, this website is the new Airbnb. Like, I never use Airbnb anymore. I will always just get a hotel because it protects you from shit like this. Like, never again will I use Outdoorsy. I will always use like Cruise America or something else and fork out a little bit of extra money to do so because it is not worth the trouble. And I know Outdoorsy is doing their best right now with trying to get us like a settlement and a partial refund, but they're not doing enough for me and I will never use them again. So yeah, this is the listing. It's on Outdoorsy. Please don't rent it for EDC next year. I don't know if it's available for EDC. It's based out of Vegas. So we rented it out like probably almost a year in advance. We've had this booked. I think we booked it like last July. So if you're like us and you're getting ahead of the game and you see this on there, please don't book it, okay? Just don't do it. Don't do it. The owners are scammers. They are sketchy people. They will try to scam you out of $10,000, okay? I'm so serious. So let's get into the drama. We got this RV. It was 5 of us in there. It was me, Garrett, Maddie, Lucas, and Obi. That was our RV squad, right? So Thursday morning we pick it up. It's from this like RV rental center in Vegas. The owners are not there. It's just like a guy who runs the rental shop. The owners kind of just leave it there and let the business handle it, I guess. So we never interacted in person with the owners. So we pick it up Thursday. We're driving into camp. Again, keep in mind the whole weekend, it is like 100 degrees during the day, every day. It's very hot. And we get into camp. We did not pay for a power hookup spot. You really do not need one with an RV unless you are going to be running your power into the ground, which We are not. We didn't, for Forest last year, we didn't get a power hookup. We had that RV for a week and we did not run out of generator power. So same thing for EDC, didn't get a power hookup. The RV was said it had a working generator. So we were like, great, we'll have AC, we'll have a fridge, we'll have outlets, like we'll have everything we need. We don't need to pay for power. We get into camp Thursday and we park in our spot. Obviously we turned the car off immediately, and kind of from the get-go we had issues with it. Like there was a weird beeping noise and it wouldn't turn off. We called the owners, they actually picked up on Thursday and they helped us solve that issue. So that was all taken care of, whatever. So then we start running the generator on Thursday afternoon, I would say. And we kind of noticed from the get-go that the RV is not really cooling down with the AC unit that runs on the generator. Like it was on the roof, and I don't know if I can explain this well, but like there were vents that came out of it and there were vents that like came down from the unit, and air was not coming down. It was only blowing straight out. So if you held your hand up, like you could feel the cold air coming out, but it really was not cooling down the RV at all. Let me also say, mind you guys, I stayed in an RV for half of my EDC experience last year, just as hot during the day, and they had AC on a generator and like it was cooling down the RV. And I've gone in friends' RVs who have similar ones and the same situation, generator, AC unit, and it's fine. It's cold in there, it's great. That's why we bought a fucking RV for the weekend. So it wasn't really cooling down. And then Friday we wake up. Again, it's so hot during the day that fucking RV is not cooling down that much. And we were like, what the hell? Like, are we doing something wrong? Starting to get ready for the festival on Friday. It had to have been like 4 p.m. And we're all sitting in there getting ready, like putting on makeup, whatever, charging phones. And the generator just shuts off entirely. Like none of us press anything. It just shuts down. The whole thing goes quiet. And we were like, okay. And there was a little piece of paper on the wall like near the generator switch, and the person at the RV center told us this as well, so we knew. It said that, you know, if it's really hot, sometimes the generator will just shut off and you have to give it like 30 minutes to 2 hours to just let it rest and then try to turn it on again. So we were like, okay, it's definitely because it's so hot outside. Like we're about to leave for the festival anyway, let's just leave it. And then by the time we come back after the festival ends, it'll be like 6 a.m. It'll be so much cooler. It'll be like 70 degrees. The sun will barely be up. Like it'll turn on then and it'll be fine. Get back from the festival again at like 6 a.m. and we tried to turn it on and it wouldn't. And we were like, that's weird because it's not hot outside anymore. So why wouldn't the generator be working? And like we have a full tank of gas. Oh, we barely drove like 15-20 minutes to get from the rental center to camp. So what the fuck's going on? Then we wake up, what was that? So Saturday morning we try to sleep as much as we can, but once the sun is up, like it gets hot again, you're in the desert. And I even like tried to get up at one point to start the generator and it still wouldn't. Like it was not budging, it would not turn on. And we were like, oh God, this is not good, because then it was starting to get really hot outside. I even, like you saw on the vlog, I put a fucking towel on the blacktop outside of the vehicle where there was a tiny piece of shade, and I laid down and tried to go back to sleep there. Like that is how fucking hot it was inside that thing. It felt like a sauna. It was no joke. Garrett is the one who's been in contact with the owners like for this whole reservation, and he tried to call them because we called them on Thursday with an issue and they picked up. They worked us through it. It was an easy fix. So he calls them and they're not picking up. And we're like, well, that's not good. He's texting them, they're not picking up. He's texting them, they're not answering. We tried calling them multiple times. We texted multiple times saying the generator's not working, please. It's so hot, like we're in the desert. We've left it for the 30 minutes to 2 hours like you asked. Like we've tried it in 70-degree weather. We've tried it when the sun's down. Like it's not turning on, please. And they ignored us all fucking weekend, bitch. All damn weekend. They acted like we did not exist, okay? And just to summarize, it did not turn on for the rest of the weekend. We had no power the whole weekend. We had to throw out over like $150 worth of groceries. Couldn't charge our phones, anything. Like woke up in a pool of fucking sweat every single morning. I fainted not once but twice from heat exhaustion. Like it was brutal, it was miserable, and the owners didn't do a fucking thing about it. Not one thing, okay? Monday morning comes around, we're like, we're not sleeping in this thing anymore. Like, we're driving straight out of camp. Like, as soon as the festival ended, we came back. We let Maddie and Lucas sleep for a little bit longer because we stayed the whole festival. They left a little early. Woke them up and we were like, we gotta drive this thing out. And thank God we drove out early also, because the RV line was very long to get out of camp and we had to return it by 11 a.m. So we drove straight back to the RV rental center. And we even had the guy who was there when he gave it to us. He was there working again on Monday morning. So he has to run through, make sure everything looks the same and nothing's been damaged. And of course he goes to try the generator and he's like, uh-oh. And we're like, yeah, so I know it's not your RV, but how do we go about getting a partial refund? Because that was happening for the past 4 days. Like, we've had no power for 4 days. And even the guy at the center was like, oh shit, like, yeah, you can ask for a partial refund, like, you got to go through Outdoorsy / the owners. So he even marked it like on the return sheet, paperwork, whatever, saying that it wasn't working. And Garrett finally, he texted the owners again on Monday morning and he was like, we need to have a phone conversation today about this rental. And the owners, this is when things started getting really sketchy, bitches, let me tell you. They responded and they were like, yeah, well, it's an RV. Sometimes these things happen. The generator stopped working, but you still had it the whole weekend, like the car. And, you know, we tried our best to work it out with you on the phone. Is the phone call in the room with us right now? They said that in a text to us. We screenshot it. Girl, I kept receipts on everything. Let me fucking tell you. The amount of receipts that I had to send to Outdoorsy, you don't even want to know, okay? They were like, we stayed on the phone with you to try and fix it. No, you didn't. No phone call. There was no phone call, babe. Why are you lying? And they were like, yeah, we just had our expert mechanic come in and try the generator and it worked fine and it's been running for over an hour. So yeah, sorry that it didn't work for you, but it's fine. So that's that. We can refund you like $200 for the inconvenience. I was like, girl, you are not refunding me $200 for an almost $3,000 RV reservation where we didn't get basically the entire thing that we signed up for. Like, this was not the service that we signed up for. Respectfully, $200 is not gonna cut it. Like, all we had all weekend was a car to sit in that had no power or anything that we paid all that money for. So no, $200 is not gonna cut it. So they say that the generator is working and Garrett responds and he's like, well, that's great, but that doesn't change the fact that it didn't work all weekend for us and you didn't answer any of our calls and left us stranded with no help, nothing, in the desert for an entire weekend. And then it got even weirder because the owner said, after they just said that the generator is up and working and their expert mechanic checked on it, they were like, yeah, whatever you guys did, you essentially killed the generator. So we will be contacting Outdoorsy and submitting a claim so that you will have to spend $9,800 to buy us a new one. Be so for real. Be so for real. After you just said that it's working. Sketchy as fuck, right? Sketchy as fuck. So we reached out to Outdoorsy. We called a guy on the phone who talked to us once we got to a hotel on Monday afternoon, and he was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. We framed it as a safety issue because it was. Like, I passed out twice. I have a blood pressure condition, so heat is already very difficult to me. That's part of the reason I got an RV this year, was to have AC constantly, like, in a better enclosed space with power and everything. Like, the AC in the tents at Camp BDC only goes so far. It was a health hazard for me. I fainted. Like, I was so, I can't even begin to explain to you guys how uncomfortable I was the entire weekend. Like, it was brutal. It was miserable at camp. And so we talked to Outdoorsy. Currently where we're at right now is that they just got back to us. Yeah, they were like, it might take 2 to 7 weeks for us to handle this claim. I was like, you better speed it up, hit the gas, like, let's go, because I will take your ass to small claims court. I am not scared, okay? So they responded yesterday and they were like, we'll give you an extra $250 so that you get a total of $450 back. And no ma'am, no ma'am. I am not taking back $450 on a $2,800 reservation, okay? You gotta do more than that. And I wrote back, and I put this all respectfully, let me just say, like, I'm going off in this video, but I word everything very respectfully. I'm a very good communicator, and I put in polite terms, that's not gonna cut it, babe. I'm not taking back $450 for a $2,800 reservation. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So you can either offer me more money, or I'm gonna take them to small claims court. You just let me know, babe. That is the RV saga. Please don't rent that fucking RV. I keep telling Outdoorsy and all our little love letters to please take the listing down because it is an actual safety hazard and someone could die by sleeping in there in the desert. So now that that's out of the way, this is gonna be such a long video, I apologize. Let's just talk about EDC, and let me emphasize that even though the camping was miserable and brutal, we had an amazing festival experience. EDC was beautiful, it was magical. The only con was the camping, and that is not, I'm not gonna let that taint the whole experience because it was magical and I had a great time, and I refuse to let that dictate the whole weekend. So now let's talk about the festival. I'm gonna do my categories like always. So first off, weather. It was hot as balls this year. It felt worse because of the RV, obviously, but it was definitely hotter this year throughout the whole weekend. Like last year, it got chilly at night a couple of the days, you know? Like actually like very cold and windy. This year, it was pretty hot. Even inside the festival after sundown. I was actually so thankful when it rained on Friday night. It rained during the fireworks, which we will get into later on. I was overjoyed when it rained because I needed to cool down expeditiously. I was so overheated from this RV situation. I had fainted twice, like I said, so my body was just like constant sweat, and you know when you're just like so overheated, you're like almost a little bit delusional. That was what I felt like all weekend, okay? Definitely hot this year. It was very, very tricky to navigate at camp. I really hope that for next year, someone commented this on one of the vlogs and I totally agree. I wish there were more cool down structures within camp. They do a good job with the tents and like the shading things, but I just wish there were more, like they had misters, and I wish there were more of those, or like some type of genuinely just like a giant tent with AC and we can all like take turns going in it. I don't know, they just need to do something, okay? I can't, it was so hot. Once you got to like the really late hours though, like 3 a.m. onwards, it was fine. Like this year we didn't need any hoodies, any sweatpants, like no layers were needed this year. Last year, like I wore a hoodie one of the nights and it was windy and chilly. None of that this year. It was pretty warm still at night. Moving on to vibes, I personally experienced a ton of plur this year and I had some awesome interactions in the crowd. I know that a lot of people are saying that this festival gets worse and worse every year in terms of vibes, but I honestly had a good experience. And I think a lot of it depends on what stages you go to and what artists you go to. I definitely 100% agree that it was more crowded this year. At Kinetic Field, I've never seen the crowd extend back so far that it passes like the Kinetic archway. And it was like that for almost every artist at Kinetic at night. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So Kinetic was definitely tricky and crowded. Also at Base Pod for Excision Back-to-Back Dion Timmer, I posted a video in my blog. I was like, I can't be here any longer. The crowd, we were gonna just like pass by, catch a little bit of it on our way to whatever set we were going to next, but we literally could not even listen to the music basically because the crowd went all the way back past the Ferris wheel, past Rainbow Road, like all the way fucking back. If you know EDC, you know. I looked around and I was like, no, I think we listened to maybe 2 songs and then just moved along because we were like, we can't do this. It was definitely overall more crowded, but that was confirmed that there were gonna be more people, so I kind of was preparing for it. I will say though, I've always found at EDC, and I think a lot of people complain about the crowd more when they don't realize this, I have always found, that there are always bottlenecks in the crowd. And what I mean by that is like you will think something looks so crowded, and then once you get through like that initial wave of people, there's just all this open space closer to the stage. And it doesn't really make sense. I think it's because maybe some people are just so under the influence that they don't move up or think they can go up anymore. But yeah, you'll think that a set is so crowded and then there will be like so much more space a little further up. Great example of this is at Wax Back-to-Back Bala. I was all the way in the back with my friends and I was texting with Claudine and Maria, which can I just say thank you INSOMNIAC Events for bringing a Verizon tower into EDC. I did in fact get this confirmed that they did this, and I have Verizon. I had perfect cell service all fucking weekend inside the festival. Like you could send pictures through iMessage of what totem you were next to. That's not heard of at other festivals, okay? You could literally take photos of exactly what totem you're next to send to your friends who also have Verizon. It was a beautiful thing. So at Wax Motif back-to-back Mala, we were kind of in the back. Claudine and Maria were way up in the front because she sent me a picture of the totem they were next to, or told me which one it was. And I saw it and I was like, there's no shot we're making it all the way up there. Like, there's no way. And Maria was texting and she was like, I swear to you, there is so much room up here. Like, just, you know, go around the side and come in. I'm telling you, you have space. And Garrett was like, all right, let's try it. And lo and behold, we move up and we get so close to the stage and there is so much room in that crowd. It does not make any sense at EDC, but that's just the way it is. In general though, I think, you know, a lot of people just don't know what the best way to get in and out of a crowd is, because it's always easier to enter like from the side to be closer to the stage rather than just go like straight in from the back. Like, that's where everyone goes, so obviously you're gonna get stuck and people don't move, like I said. So you just kind of have to be strategic with how you get in, and I feel like once you've gone to EDC a few times, you kind of get it. Like, I know which are the best ways to get into base pod and XYZ, so I think it comes with experience, but also depends on what artists you see. Like, obviously Martin Garrix at Kinetic Field is gonna be impossible to get into the crowd. We stopped at the back for like 10 minutes and then we're like, we can't even get in here, and we don't honestly want to. We want to go to the next thing. But if you're going to other like smaller artists at different stages, there's usually a lot of room. Even for like Dimension at Base Pod, we were so close to the front and had so much space. It was insane. So it just depends on who you see. Like, if you have a more like the mainstream electronic acts, like, yeah, you're gonna struggle with the crowd. But if you go to more smaller artists, different genres, like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like, obviously if you go to Tiesto at Kinetic Field, you're probably gonna get shoved and pushed without saying excuse me. Like, let's just be real. But if you're going to like Metric back-to-back Graphics at Base Pod, for example, great fucking vibes, great crowd. Honestly, one of my favorite sets of the whole weekend. So much space, everyone's polite. Like, it's not just gonna be random people there. Like, people are gonna be there who love the music. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I totally see where people are coming from. I do agree it was very crowded, to the point where it was probably a safety hazard at some points. I saw like the GA bathrooms at certain areas and I was like, you couldn't pay me to go in there. It looked like a mob scene. But overall, I didn't have too many bad experiences. There always is going to be a little bit of pushing and shoving depending on who you're seeing and what stage you're at, but I definitely agree it was very packed. I always wondered if EDC would ever do like a 2 weekends scenario. Obviously it's a very expensive festival to run, so I don't know if that would ever happen, but that could maybe resolve a lot of the crowd issues. And it would just be cool to like, I don't know, maybe they could have different experiences each weekend. I don't know, just something I've always thought about. Moving on to vendors, both like line lengths and prices of things. I personally have not really been drinking at events anymore, so I was not at the bars all weekend at EDC. Except for Saturday, I had 1 drink, and you know I always stop by the bars to get a cup of ice to put in my hydration pack because we gotta keep it cold. But yeah, I think the drink prices were pretty standard. They're very expensive. What else is new? I had that 1 drink on Saturday. It was like a frozen vodka lemonade, and it was actually very tasty. It was definitely way too sweet though, and again, it was so hot at the whole during the whole weekend that like you couldn't even get drunk. We ended up honestly throwing out just about all of our alcohol on Monday morning because we couldn't drink it, because there was literally no point in drinking alcohol because we were sweating so much, so you weren't even getting drunk. Same goes for food. I feel like the prices were pretty typical. I always say this, but I prefer to eat like one really big good meal at camp right before going into the festival. Emphasis on the sandwich shop. I already forget the name of it. I think it's like Capiotti's sandwich shop or something. I think I also saw it inside the festival this year, but please, like, it is the best bang for your buck, and it's also just fucking delicious. Like, they make like these big subs, and it also comes with a bag of chips, and it's like $15–16, something like that. So, and it's filling as hell. So I get like the veggie one, and it's delicious, and that's normally my go-to before going into the festival so that I'm like fueled up and ready to go. I will say the lines for free water this year were god awful because obviously there were more attendees than ever before. But you can kind of hack the system with this too. Like, little life hack, if you ever need to refill your water and you're near Rainbow's Bazaar, just go to Rainbow's Bazaar. There's a refill station in there that like no one really knows about, so there's almost never a line. There's always massive lines at like the main ones, if you know what I'm talking about, but if you just go into Rainbow's Bazaar, there's one there, and barely anyone is ever there. Also, just refill your water as soon as you get in the festival each day, and then you don't have to do it for the rest of the night, and it's just so much easier. There were also more like little small businesses and vendors and more shops, I feel like, both in camp and in the festival this year. Maybe I'm making that up in my head, I don't know. But we walked around both and we thought that all the options were really cool. There were like cool like rave wear shops and like accessories, pashminas, all that good stuff. I just feel like they've been improving that every year. It just always seems to get better and better, so that was cool to see. Security, honestly the same as last year. Again, we camp, so we come in through the camp entrance to the festival, and both that and like check-in when we first got to camp on Thursday was not thorough at all, so it was very quick. Even to get like in the festival each day, I swear there was never more than like 10 people in front of us in line at security. So very fast, which is awesome. Granted, I also do get into the festival pretty early every single day. We usually would always go in at 7. So that's something to keep in mind. I feel like if you go in later, maybe it gets a little busier. Moving on to production and layout. I loved the production this year and I loved the upgrades. This was definitely my favorite kinetic field stage design ever. A little moment for her, okay? She was gorge. She was stunning. And I also love to see Cosmic Meadow getting a makeover. I thought that stage was also beautiful. Like, I was so excited when I saw these two stages. I still wish they would bring back more of the massive screens to circuit grounds, because you guys know I love circuit grounds. But I do like that this year there were screens on kinetic. Maybe they moved some of the ones from circuit to kinetic. That's just my thought. So you could see more of the visuals at kinetic, you could see more of the artists playing, which I always like I love kinetic field at EDC, but like a lot of these artists have awesome visuals, right? And like you can't see them at kinetic. That's why I love circuit. It's like you get a movie and the music at the same time. So I did love that kinetic had that this year. I thought that was a great upgrade. The fireworks were magical as always. I really want them to bring back the drone show. They did it in October of 2021. I think because it was like the 25th EDC. I really want them to bring it back, but the fireworks were fucking magical. Like, literally, it's the best part of EDC, and this year, not only one of my favorite artists, but two of my favorite artists had fireworks slots, both Above and Beyond and Dimension. Above and Beyond, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because it's my new personality trait. This and Dimension during the fireworks, new personality traits. I will not shut the fuck up, okay? Above and Beyond was when it started pouring rain. I shit you not, as soon as the fireworks started, just rain. In the desert, bitch. The fireworks are going off. It's like beautiful Above and Beyond music and it's pouring rain. I literally was just like, we were all like this and just like crying. It was the most beautiful cathartic thing ever. Like I cannot. It reset my brain. It rewired something up in this noggin, okay? And then Dimension during the fireworks, I can't. And we had the best group. Like, we got Maria to stay with us for fireworks because we wanted to be with her. She did not want to see Dimension. She's not a drum and bass girly, but she literally had the best fucking time. I have videos of her going so hard in the crowd. She had the best time and we were all just so happy and the music was perfect. And it was like the last night, and I'm telling you, like, day 3 was one of the best festival days I've had in so goddamn long. And that kind of brings me to the next point, which is lineup. The fucking day 3 lineup, I went from Dimension to Armin to Slander's techno set. Like, that's my dream, okay? And to have fireworks on top of that, in the midst of all of that, like, I won't shut the fuck up about it, as you can tell. You guys saw in my lineup reaction and review this year, like, I really liked the lineup. I know a lot of people talk shit about it, but honestly nowadays people talk shit on everything, so I don't care. I was one happy camper. It definitely was house heavy. I would have liked to see a little more genre diversity, but I mean, I had so many of my favorite artists on there, like, I can't complain, and we just had the best time. The music was top tier this year, like, oh my god. Next category I always talk about if I have VIP for a festival is whether or not VIP is worth it. For EDC, I had VIP last year. I also had VIP again this year. I am very grateful. It was gifted to me, so I did not pay the price tag for EDC VIP. I know that's a huge thing, is how expensive it is. So keep in mind with all of this, I'm talking as someone who did not make the investment myself. I'm very fortunate that I didn't have to do that. I will say that EDC VIP is the best VIP at any festival I've ever seen, personally, because I feel like most festivals, I've had VIP at a lot of festivals. I'm very grateful for that. I get a lot of my wristbands through work, and I feel like so many festivals, VIP, all it gives you is like expedited entry, nicer bathrooms, and like your own viewing areas. And EDC just has so much more, as they fucking should, because the price tag is not cheap. It's not cheap at all, but there are so many amenities. I definitely took my time to look around a little bit more when I was in the VIP sections, and particularly Kinetic Fields is fucking crazy. Like, there was a sushi restaurant in there. You could get sushi and sit down and like watch the music at Kinetic Field. Are you kidding? It's obviously extremely expensive, but you are protected from the packed GA crowd, which again just gets more and more crowded every year. You get your own food, you get your own bar, bathrooms, merch, you get your own merch section. You get all these little extra perks like the beauty bar. I wish I knew that the beauty bar was in fact included in VIP. I thought for some reason that it was an extra cost, because I definitely would have gotten my hair braided. I will definitely be doing that in the future. I personally think when it comes down to it, if you have this kind of income to pay for a VIP pass at EDC, and if you're a little bit older and you want to have a bit more of an elevated experience, totally think it's worth the money, honestly. I know you might think I'm biased because I didn't pay for it and I was like, wow, this is fucking sick. But I do think it might actually be worth the $900. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, you just get such a more elevated experience. I will say the one thing that does suck is sometimes they are not the best at checking wristbands to make sure that they actually are scanning, which is really annoying because you pay a lot of money for it. And I saw a lot of people kind of like trying to sneak in, and I was like, don't do that, that's rude. But yeah, my friends are slowly starting to get older and cave and buy VIP, so I'm hoping we can all have it together one year. The thing about VIP is the price tag is definitely, let me say, it is definitely not worth it unless your group has it as a whole. I was just about the only person who had it, so I literally only used VIP for the bathrooms and like to go get ice from the bars, to get my cute little amenities, my cute little lanyard, kind of check out the scene, the food and everything. But that was it. Like, I didn't watch any sets from VIP. I never have both years that I've had VIP at EDC, which is kind of sad, but I just prefer to be with my friends. That's my experience with VIP. I definitely hope that at some point in the future, more of my friends will have it so we can really like see even more of the amenities and how cool it is. Getting to the end of this video, the last question I always tackle is, would I go back? And I fear the answer will always be yes for EDC Vegas. I will say next year, our game plan is to make next year the year of Tomorrowland, finally cross it off the bucket list. And in doing that, we want to skip both like EDC and Forest and these bigger festivals we do, and the money that we would have spent on those, we want to spend on really nice accommodations for Tomorrowland so that we're super comfortable and can have the best time possible. However, all I'm saying is if that wristband comes to me through an opportunity again, and I have a better camping scenario and the cheap flight, all I'm saying is I would go again next year. That's all, that's all. I just love this festival so much, and I always have a magical time, and I'm someone who likes all genres of dance music. So for me, EDC just makes the most sense as a festival to go to every year. I see all my favorite artists from all different genres. I see my friends who come from all different corners of the country and even the world. It's an awesome time and it's a great time of year, and I don't know, I just love EDC. I love the production, I love the magic, I love the vibe. I know a lot of people are not fans of EDC anymore as it's grown over the years, and that's okay. That's okay. I also like other festivals too. Like I said, I'm going to Forest in 2 weeks. Completely different vibe, completely different setting, completely different environment, and I love both so much. And I'm so grateful for my experience this year. Like I said, the camping will not taint the memories that I have, and I'm so grateful that I got to return this year. And we'll see about next year, okay? We're not planning on it, but if something fell into my lap, I'm not saying I wouldn't go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you to everyone who said hello at EDC. It really means the world to meet you guys, and I appreciate it a lot. So muchas gracias, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'm gonna get some Forest content out for you guys, and thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Peace.